The transfer train keeps moving on down the track, and nobody is stopping it, man. West Virginia just got another commit, and man, I'm impressed.
You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, guys? Welcome back in. We just got done with the show, not even 20 minutes ago. Welcome back in. This is Locked On West Virginia. We are live here to talk about West Virginia's newest commitment, and it's a big one. I've got a lot. Thankfully, I didn't use all the stuff I had earlier on this certain commit. So, guys, like I said, this is a big, big deal. They're really cooking right now. If you go by composite models or anything like that, West Virginia's got at least four-star transfers, portal transfers now. And Chance Moore is the newest guy. This is a top 100 player coming out of high school, 4-star top 100 player coming out of high school. So that's like Jonathan Powell last year, right? That's that same level of at least star rating. And that is Hawthorne this year, who's at Kentucky today. Those are the kind of players. This guy went to Arkansas right out. And so let me get down here to where I've got some of this stuff typed out. So 6'6", 210 pounds, obviously committing today, the 17th, about a half hour ago on his Instagram page. It was announced. Started 5 games at Arkansas. Then he went to Missouri State, where he had a really good run there, where he averaged right around 11-5. He went to St. Bonaventure, where he really had a great breakout year last year, where he averaged close to 14 points, 13.2 points per game, 7 rebounds per game, 1 assist, 1.5 steals. He started all but one game and dropped 24-8 against West Virginia. I went and watched that, and what a game he had against West Virginia with Missouri State, not St. Bonaventure. So he already knows how to torch us. So let's hope he'll do it to somebody else next time. He's a versatile forward with scoring, rebounding, and defensive chops, like I said earlier, which is really perfect for Ross Hodge and what he wants, right? That 4-star status is exactly what we were all hoping for with this guy. And we got it, and so here's some of his better games. I went and charted a bunch of his games, and he's had a few. So at Arkansas, he played in 5 games as a freshman, like I said, where he had minimal stats. But once he went to Missouri State, and by the way, he had Alabama, Auburn, Clemson, Florida State in that recruitment. Once he went to Missouri State, he started 20 of 31 games in that 2023-2024 year, where we averaged 10-5, like I said. In 27 minutes, though, he dropped 24-8 against West Virginia on November 6, 2023. From there to St. Bonaventure, like I said, I'm kind of going – I guess I've written stuff down twice here. My fault. So he dropped 18-8 in a game versus Canisius. He dropped 27 in a game versus Canisius. 23 versus St. Louis, 18 versus CSUN, 18 versus Florida Gulf Coast, 18 versus UMass off the bench in a road win. Averaged 7.3 rebounds per game early in the 2024, and really showed a lot of hustle in pounding the glass and grabbing boards. And even, like I said, against high major foes like West Virginia. And he also did against Duquesne. 46.3% from the field, 38.9% from three, guys. So far, every single player on West Virginia's squad shoots at above 30% from the three, or above 32%, really. And this is another one. So here we go again with Ross Hodge and these 3-and-D type players that can slash. This is another one. And this is a guy can really shoot it. Like I said, the other guys are still working on their three-point game, in my opinion. So continuously getting better with the way they're evaluating players and bringing them in, because This is a guy, man, that I thought maybe would take a few visits. We had heard he might take a couple. This sounds like he was already committed before he came today. Is what this looks like, and I don't know. I don't have any. I don't have any inside knowledge on that. I haven't, and if I did, I probably couldn't say it. But so defense. Let's talk about that for a second, because the 1.5 steals a game show he's a pest on defense, and at 6'6", he's going to guard 1 through 3, maybe even 4, from wings to smaller bigs, which is perfect for the Big 12 because you have to have that versatility. He was named the Atlantic 10 Player of the Week on November 11th, where he had a really hot start, man, in those first 3 games that I charted. And he earned the College Sports Communicators All-Academic honors as well in 2025, proving that he's a smart guy as well, y'all. So he brings some brains to this thing. I guess he did miss 1 game this past year against Georgia Mason. He had a foot injury, but he came right back strong right after that with 15 points versus UMass. We know how physical UMass was. They may not have been great, but they did have a lot of physicality because of how Frank Martin coaches ball. So I think, I've got him labeled as a Big 12, a great Big 12 fit because his athleticism, his experience, he's got 50 starts, his size, his physicality. I think it makes him game ready for teams like Baylor and Iowa State, right? And he's already proven that he can thrive in Morgantown against West Virginia with 24-8, which is one of his best games ever, ironically, against the whole other staff, not even West Virginia. He's a senior, which is just continuously adds to exactly what this staff has done up until now, adding juniors and seniors only so far. So he brings maturity to a young roster. We assume it'll be a young roster in as far as how long they've been together. I think it's going to pair perfectly with Honor Huff. Even if a guy like Eagle Staff doesn't commit, let's just talk about this for a second. Even if Eagle Staff doesn't commit, and we have no reason to think he won't as of right now, things can change always. But, let's say that he doesn't. Well, Chance Moore is a pretty good guy to pair with Honor Huff on the other wing. Honestly, if you're playing Huff off the ball, you can pair him up, and they'd be pretty good together for a guy like Jasper Floyd to penetrate and kick to. 38.9% from 3, not bad. So really good. And look, he's just very similar to Brennan Lorient in that athleticism. From an athleticism standpoint, he can just about bounce his head off the rim, like I like to say. So he's a good athlete, guys. This is a big ad. I'm a big fan. And I know you guys probably think, well, he likes everybody, but truly and honestly, they haven't added a bad player yet in the portal. They're going to add some guys that I could say is going to be backups. They're going to be those type players, but I don't think Chance Moore depends on who else we add, but as of right now, he's a starter. So we'll see where it goes. Let's go to break really quick, guys. On the other side, we'll talk about the rest of the situation going on, speculate a little bit more, and we'll talk about this whole portal class and how it's coming together. Stick around, guys. This is Locked On West Virginia. And this episode is going to be brought to you by FanDuel, guys. The NBA playoffs are almost here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Because right now you can join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, where you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props. Don't miss out and head to FanDuel.com today and claim your $250 in bonus bets. Just do it today. All right, guys, as we move into segment 2, let's crack a do, right? Hey, look, it's segment 2 for the second time today. We can crack a do for the second time. So I'm assuming there was actually more people waiting to come into this live than there are actually in the live right now. I'm assuming there must be several people live at once is my only explanation I could come up with. Let's talk about where do I want to go with this? You know what? Let's talk about this entire class now, because I think when you look at it from a totality standpoint, and we can't forget DJ Thomas in this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players, right? Am I missing anybody? You got Jasper Floyd from North Texas. You've got Hunter Huff from Chattanooga. You got Brendan Lorient from North Texas. Jackson Fields from Troy. Harlan Obioa from UNC Wilmington. DJ Thomas or DeAndre Thomas from high school. And now Chance Moore. So that's 7. Pretty good. A pretty good start. You've got a lot to work with here. I don't know, I just love this class so far. If I had to say right now who the starting 5 would be, I guess I'd probably go with kind of silly to do this, but why not for fun? Jasper is going to play the point. Honor Huff will be off the ball at the 2. We'll play Brendan Lorient at the 4. We'll play Harlan Obioa at the 5. And then we'll play Chance Moore at the 3 for now, with Jackson Fields coming off the bench. This is just based on, how they're incoming. I wouldn't put it past Jackson Fields to be able to knock one of those guys out of the lineup. I'm a big fan of his. He didn't have the scoring production, but he's arguably the best defender we've added. And it's going to end up being a very underrated ad in this class. We'll see exactly what he ends up looking like. But, obviously if Eagle staff comes on board, then that changes everything. And that makes it turns it all on its head, because then you're talking about you go from more of a defensive-oriented lineup like it is now to a more offensive-oriented lineup like it would be then, because the only quote-unquote I don't even want to say it's a – I wouldn't call him a – what's the word I'm looking for here? Somebody that's not any good on defense, or somebody that's a liability, there's the word, on defense. But Honor Huff, is going to get exploited at times. He's 5'10", he's 160 pounds, and he has great steal numbers, so he can play the passing lane. But if you're just talking about physicality in the Big 12, you got to at least be worried about it, because look at Marquise Noel. He was like a little truck, right? Very strong. So let's see if Honor, I did it again. Let's see if Honor gets into the gym and maybe adds a little bit of muscle, because I think he's going to need to. But then again, man, guys like Steph Curry exist where, although Steph Curry's 6'3", don't get me wrong, but slight in stature that can still get that shot off and do that. So, there it comes. I don't know. That was weird, man. It was like nobody was in here for a long time. Now we at least got a few hundred people in here. For a minute there, it was only showing 8 people for like ever. And that hasn't happened to me in years. It was weird. Maybe it was just late on the uptake and notifying people. Sometimes that happens. All right. So, and the thing is whenever I looked at the live earlier, it said I had a bunch of people waiting. I was like, oh, okay. So there's a lot of people waiting. I better hurry. That was weird. For those of you just jumping in, it just jumped up like 200 people like in a split second. Maybe I don't know. Comment down below if you've already been in here. Yeah, there's a lot of comments. I don't know. This has been weird. DJ Thomas, a lot of people are asking about him. I'll be honest with you. I haven't studied as much as his tape. Actually, none of his tape yet. It's something I need to go do, and I will do it. I've been so focused on the football and basketball portal players only that I haven't really paid much attention to DJ Thomas yet, but I will. You have my word. I will do that. I don't want to get on here and just spew BS. Like, I can see it on here and BS and probably get by with it, but I'm not like that. I'm not a liar. So I'll absolutely come on here and we'll talk about it. As far as Harrison, Elizabeth, and ODA, they're not going to be on this team, guys. I don't know who thinks they will. I mean, maybe since you have 15 spots now, they will. You know what? I'll take that back. Now that you have 15 roster spots, maybe you keep them. But I mean, I don't care. I don't count them. They're just practice players, right? Like they don't get into the game, y'all. They count. They're Mountaineers. They're on the team and all that. But I mean, they're not. They're not going to play, guys. It's kind of fruitless to talk about them. No offense. I just keeping it real. But this is a big deal, though. Like I said, the Chance Moore commitment. Let me see if I can find anything on him because as we move through here, let me see if I can find. I had some stuff on him too. Let's see. Hey, we got a picture of Ross Hodge. Let's show that. I haven't seen this yet. So here's a picture of Ross Hodge on a recruiting visit at that. Is it this one? Yeah. So here's a picture of Ross Hodge with Chance Moore, and I'm assuming his dad. God, look how big he is, dude. I mean, he's a big kid. He's almost 6'7" from what I read. So, love the Jerry West uniforms. I would be using them in recruiting too because they're beautiful. Here's a couple other pictures, guys, of him. So pretty cool. Glad to see it. Yeah, this is a great pickup for West Virginia, obviously. I haven't been able to find him on X yet either. So maybe he's not, maybe he's just not, maybe he's just not on there. I don't know. He's got Chance Moore Jr. Is that true? Oh, by the way, I guess that was Wolfie. I didn't even realize. By the way, look, good prediction from Joe Knows there, who's been really good. So it looks like I'm not seeing anybody tagging him. Oh, yeah, that's another thing. Block rate. 17%. Top 17% of the players nationally in block rate per KenPom, and top 15% nationally in pre-throw getting to the line. That's pretty good. Projected 92nd percentile defensive grade. So, like, there's so many layers to this ad, guys, that just make it so good. I still don't see any highlights necessarily. This is of him on his visit earlier, but like a lot of the stuff he posted came from Instagram. So, I guess here's some tape right here, but this is showing ESPN footage. I can't really show that. Yeah, you guys are just watching on your own. I don't want to ruin the video just because of that, but glad to have him, man. Glad to have him. Think he'll be a great piece. More than a great piece, obviously. You add this to what's already on the roster and what people think is coming. Now, obviously, with Eagle staff, the more days that go by that doesn't happen, you get a little bit more worried. But at this point in time, we haven't heard anybody else is in the mix. We haven't heard. There's been a couple teams that I've been told sniffing around, but mostly it's just West Virginia's kind of going to wait to make this announcement because, he just decommitted yesterday, so there's no rush. Let's go to break really quick. When we come back, guys, we'll put a bow on this one and talk about what I think is going to happen next because it's not over, obviously. We'll be right back. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by Upwork. Scaling your business requires the right expertise at the right time, and with Upwork, you can find specialized freelancers in marketing, development, design, and more because experts are ready to help take your business to the next level. Upwork gives business flexibility by connecting them with freelance talent, the top freelance talent across multiple industries, including IT, AI, web development, and marketing. Whether you need extra hands for a project or a long-term partner, Upwork makes hiring simple and affordable. You can find the right talent if you need to help with a marketing campaign. Upwork can connect you with a freelance reporter expert who's delivered incredible results in the past. Cost effective growth for you? Well, instead of hiring full time, Upwork helps find affordable top tier freelancers to scale your business efficiently. Visit upwork.com and post your job for free. That's upwork.com, upwork.com, upwork.com to connect with top talent and grow your business today. All right, as we move along here in segment 3 of Locked On West Virginia, guys, thank you for joining. We talked a little bit about Eagle Staff. I want to talk about it a little bit more here because I think we have to prepare for the small chance that it doesn't happen too. Like, I have a good feeling that it's going to happen. We had, the national guys went yesterday and said it's going to happen. We've had, other people say it's going to happen. I've contacted people in that camp that said it was going to happen. So literally everything that's supposed to happen, say it's going to happen. But the fact that he's already flipped out of South Carolina to West Virginia tells you that they're willing to do that kind of thing if the right opportunity comes along. I don't want to say it's money. I'll say money plays a factor, I'm sure. And like I said, there is somebody in the West Virginia camp that they're supposedly close to. So I look at that as a situation that's probably pretty locked in. But I also want to prepare myself. I have to as a West Virginia fan. I don't know if you're like me, guys, but as a West Virginia fan, I have to prepare myself mentally, like for the possible fall. Like if we don't get him, because like he does everything that Tucker did for us, except the defensive. Tucker's a great defender, but this guy does everything else. He's a better offensive player overall. In my opinion, at least he's shown to be. He's definitely got a high scoring output. Tucker's a little more passive. Tucker also was a great passer at times. So obviously, we're waiting on this and we're hoping it's going to happen, because then you start talking about West Virginia as a top 20, top 25 portal class. But until that happens, we have to assume that, Chance Moore could be the replacement. He could just have been always coming anyways, because this has happened a couple times where you hear about this big name you're connected to, and then you get a couple guys before the big name hits, and you're like, well, was he a replacement? Was he, is he getting, because they play the same position, right? It's like you start to overanalyze it. So I'll be interested to see what happens with it. But I'll say this. It's going to be fine either way. This staff is cooking, capital C, cooking. And I'm very proud of them. Phil Forte, guys, I'm just going to let you know. Phil Forte, I've been told by 3 different people, 2 in the industry, 1 an agent, I guess technically all 3 in the industry, that he's crushing it, guys. So I'll be shocked if Phil Forte sticks around long, because not that he's not loyal anywhere, but he's going to be a hot name, and he's going to be a top assistant that people are wanting. So we'll see how long Coach Hodge can hold on to him. Certainly West Virginia can pay him well, but there are other opportunities like, Oklahoma State with Steve Lutz maybe come open for him some point. But just get ready to know the name Phil Forte, because he is absolutely crushing it right now as far as in a recruiting side of the portal. And honestly, that matters more than the on-floor coaching part of it these days, because you can always have a coach that knows X's and O's. It's almost more rare to have a coach that can recruit this well. When you're in a recruiting with a team that has more money than you and you're still getting guys, or if the money's even and you're winning guys over at a place like West Virginia, you're a unicorn. That just don't happen a lot, and that's kind of what he's been doing. He's been getting these kids to come and at least visit. Like, I'm just told that Forte's had a big impact on our offseason. So let's keep an eye on that, because I think he deserves, just like I like to give Jay Kuntz, or even Nelson at times last year, I gave flowers. If I start hearing about a specific guy behind the scenes, I like to give them their flowers, because a lot of times Ross Hodge is going to get all the credit for this. and he deserves a lot of it. Not saying he's not involved, like great, he isn't. I'm just saying Phil Forte has been, a big reason for a couple of these guys. That's it. I'm not saying he's like the whole class but Honor Huff, yes. Eagle staff, pretty sure. So, well, like I said, we got to wait and see what happens with that one, but just remember the name Phil Forte. So, all right, guys, that's really all I got on this one. Just wanted to get on here and do a quick update. We just did a video on more visiting. I didn't expect him to commit today, so sometimes you just darn in the know on something. So I didn't even know he was coming. Like, this is one of those ones that there's so many names to keep up with. That's number one. Number two, there are going to be certain people that are more privy to the information that get told first. And so it doesn't always trickle down to me. But there are also going to be times when I'm going to know something that others don't, right? Just like I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that knew that not if, but when the South Dakota linebacker was visiting. Raven is in the chat. She knows I'm telling the truth about that because I sent her a screenshot of our conversation. So, if you want to know things like that, by the way, the Discord link is in the chat. Whenever I find out something from a player or when I find out something from a certain person, as long as they allow me to, like, listen, I can't share certain things, right? I mean, it's just the way it is. Otherwise I would lose my sources. But like, there is I can share, like, that I'm talking to a certain person, or I know what I can and can't share. Don't worry about that. I'm just telling you that's worth it, because a lot of the times it'll let you know about certain things first, or before other people, or at least definitely before the casual fan finds out, right? There's probably 20 of us now, or more maybe, that really follow this thing heavily and post about it and different things. I mean, you've got, everybody from, even like Voice of Morgantown follows it very heavily. Like, I mean, he posts currently about what's happening a lot. So does Coos. So do I. So does Country Roads Webcast. So does SI and their guys. So does Mike Casaza and their guys. So does Rival and their guys. But what makes me different than them? Well, most of them, I'm a fan, right? I don't have to hold back my bias when we're talking about this stuff. Nobody can make me. Nobody can make me tell you Chance Moore sucks, because he don't, right? By my book. And so I just want to say, like, you're not always going to agree with me and all that, and that's fine. And I may even get a little snippy from time to time about certain things, and that's fine. But I don't lie, and I stand very proudly on that. And I say this a lot. It's because I was a liar for a long time, because I hated myself. So when you're not happy with who you are, you fabricate things about yourself to supplement your competence, right? At least I did. And for a long time, I would fill that void with drugs and alcohol or whatever. So, I just made it common practice for myself to not do that anymore when I got clean. And now, as we are 5 years into this, we stay honest. That's the first rule. That's the first step. So we just have to make sure we do that. So not trying to, I don't want to sit here and pretend like I, don't talk about this a lot. I do. It's a part of this. If you're here, you're going to hear me talk about it more than once. You may even get tired of it, but just consider this. The reason I bring it up as often as I do, my recovery and all that, is because every single day I get messages, literally, this is not an exaggeration. Consider that there are between 2,000 and 5,000 people on average that watch my videos per episode now. I mean, we get up to 10,000, 12,000 on some, but that's not every day. So there are always going to be new people that watch this on average. So I have to make sure that I get that message out. Even though I know it's some people roll their eyes and say, please quit talking about it. But I know that there are somebody out there that could be sick and suffering, or feel like they might have a way out of addiction, or feel like that their life is over because of addiction. And I can stand here and raise my hand and say, just like I did on the podcast the other day, which, by the way, for those of you that came over from Unreasonable Doubt, and by the way, you need to go check out Unreasonable Doubt, by the way. If you haven't, they do a good job. Josh does a good job over there. But, he asked me some personal questions I was able to talk about. And, so I was able to talk about that. I was in addiction for 13 years and I was homeless outside, lived outside for 9 months. And, I did chase that next high, which, as a homeless person, sometimes I was spending $200, $300, $400 a day, chasing that, and how you get the money is how you get the money. That's irrelevant. But point being is I came out of that okay. And I get to do something now that I never thought I would be doing. And while you guys have so much to do with that, I just don't ever want to forget it, because the brain is literally wired, and you can look this up, to forget about the bad, to remember the good and forget the bad. So I can easily forget how bad it was when I was sick and puking and detoxing. But I can remember how good that shot felt, or that snort felt, or that smoke felt, or that drink felt. Quickly and easily can I remember that. So I have to always remind myself of those things. And I always remind people on here, because at the end of the day, there are going to be addicts that watch this. There are going to be alcoholics that watch this. There are going to be people that are suffering that watch this. And if I can just help anybody, that would make my dream come true. And all I ask is that you guys just sit through my little diatribes every now and again about it, because it means a whole lot to me. And I assume that if you're here, you're already, kind of know that about me and approve of it. The ones that don't, make fun of it, right? Like, I get the heroin jokes all the time. I think some guys posted they found needles in my Discord the other day, just dumb stuff. So there are going to be detractors from it. But at the end of the day, they can't keep me from talking about it. They can't shut me up. So, they can complain, but they can't change. We go live 7 days a week here. Just like Raven said, she's like my little walking slogan in the chat. Shaq, Dylan, you guys all do a great job. Matt Dix is here every freaking day, man. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate you. If I don't say it enough, I should. Tosh is here Tosh has been here for years, every day, almost every day. Like, I have some very loyal people here. Eric Flowers has been here basically every day. Like, there's a lot of you guys that are here every single day, and there's a lot of you guys that are here every other day, or at least every week, that I freaking appreciate, all the way from Michelle Weintraub to Brandon Cook. Like, there's a lot of people. So I have a lot of people to thank. And I know you guys have heard me talk about this stuff, but a lot, but just bear with me when I do. That's all I'm asking. All right, guys. A lot more to get to. Obviously, we got the football portal. We got a lot going on with that. We got visitors coming in. The portal just opened. We'll start to, we're going to keep tabs on it. We're going to have strong opinions about it. We've got some good players possibly coming in. I was texting with the SMU transfer just yesterday, Knighton, which, I don't mind to show you guys that if you want to see it. Let me see if I can pull it up here really quick before we go. I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind seeing something about that. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I'll show you here in just a second. All right. All right. Oh, okay. I got to make a phone call after this. Gotcha. All right. So let's share this screen really quick. Uh-oh. Almost the wrong button. Okay. So this is a conversation here with Jalen Knighton, the real rooster. He said, yes, sir, could come light up WVU. This is during a conversation we were having yesterday. This is obviously the end of that conversation. But, and he didn't respond to my last question, which is fine. But just wanted to show you guys that before we go, because I feel like he is a player to watch in the portal for West Virginia. Absolutely, that would be a big ad for West Virginia in the backfield. Obviously, what he did at SMU last year was great. So, that's pretty much it. I don't got much else for this one. So let's just keep watching. Make sure you're here every day. I'll be live every day at some point, usually in the afternoon at some point, and it gets exciting, y'all. So I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great rest of your week, and then we get into the weekend. We're on commitment watch every day of the week, so make sure you're here for that. I'll see you guys here later. Have a good one, and I'm out. Oh, before we go, thanks for making Locked On West Virginia your first listen. Before you go, let me tell you about the NFL Locked On. If I can talk right, Locked On NFL Draft with Damian Parsons and Keith Sanchez. As your favorite collegiate players get ready for the NFL Draft, like Wyatt Milum and company, get ready with the latest draft rankings, rumors, and news every day, so that you can find Locked On NFL Draft on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcast. Okay, now we can go, guys. Have a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out of here.